Hi, I'm John from Just Music. If you like today's show, give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And if you're feeling generous, I have a PayPal email link in the description below. And check out my other channel, Just Whiskey. But today, it's Just Music. And I'm just going to give my quick take on the recent final Black Sabbath extravaganza in Birmingham, England, this past Saturday, which would have been July 5th, 2025. I'm not going to go through all the bands. I did not subscribe or pay for the pay-per-view. Over the last couple of days, like everybody else, I've just been going on YouTube and watching tons of clips of the bands that I was interested in and some that I weren't, and just to kind of see what was going on. So this is just kind of my overall take on the thing. In the weeks and months prior to this whole thing, I really thought it was, overrated and very expensive. And, you want to see Black Sabbath, their final show with the 4 original members, which they did. But Ozzy is, has been, in my opinion, way past his prime for a long, long time. So it's cool for nostalgia's sake. And prior to the show, I was very skeptical and very apprehensive about the whole thing. It just seemed very contrived and forced and maybe not even necessary, right? I've been lucky enough to see, Black Sabbath a few times in my life. And I've seen Ozzy with the reformed Black Sabbath at least 2, probably 3 times. But I never saw Black Sabbath with Ozzy in the 70s. But I did see Dio and Ian Gillan with Black Sabbath. So Black Sabbath is my second favorite group. The Beatles are my first. Black Sabbath is number 2. Electric Light Orchestra is probably my number 3. So before I get to the Ozzy set and the Black Sabbath, and I'm just going to kind of brush over the Ozzy set and focus on the Black Sabbath. But for me, the highlights for me were, and I'm going to caveat by saying this, that I've never been the biggest Guns N' Roses fan, but I thought Appetite for Destruction was a masterpiece, awesome album. Axl Rose's voice was and is something to, it's an acquired taste, right? He has a unique voice, and some people are just totally put off by it. I've never been totally put off by it. But when they did their set, the Guns N' Roses set, I was impressed, especially in the band was on top of their game. And as far as Axl Rose's vocals, yes, he was flailing here and there, but I totally admired his spirit and the spirit of the band. He was passionate. Some of these people, they become parodies of themselves and they just kind of go through the motions. I did not feel that at all. And they opened up, Guns N' Roses opened up with the piano intro of a Black Sabbath song, a deep cut, that was written and sang by Bill Ward, the drummer. And it's called It's All Right. And it's a really cool song. I love it. But I felt Axl was rushing it. It was played way too fast, and he was singing it way too fast. But the rest of the set was good. And then they ended with, Welcome to the Jungle. And then they ended it with Paradise City. and he was on fire. I mean, jumping around and screaming his head off, and I thought he was like 90% there vocally, and I just really liked the spirit and the energy of that performance. And even though some other critics might say, it was a bit of a train wreck, I don't agree with that at all. So I watched their whole set, and I also watched Slayer's whole set, and I thought they were great. I thought they were awesome. I liked their entire set, and their tribute to Black Sabbath in there. I believe it was the Wizard was in. I believe that was the Wizard. But the takeaway for me, again, not talking about Black Sabbath quite yet. The takeaway was the highlight for me. I think Steven Tyler stole the whole show. I had no idea he was going to even be singing there, but he did 3 songs. Train kept a rolling, but then he also did a kind of a shorter version of "Whole Lot of Love" by Led Zeppelin. He knocked it out of the park, and the man's 77 years old. And I'm thinking, isn't he supposed to have a broken larynx? Like, he is defying what it is to be a human singer, man. The Steven Tyler doing "Whole Lot of Love" was freaking awesome. It's very short, but just YouTube it, and wow. And Ozzy is 76 years old. So Ozzy Osbourne did his, I think, like 5 or 6 songs with Zakk Wylde on guitar. And I've never been the biggest Ozzy fan, although back in the day I kind of liked, Over the Mountain and Mr. Crowley, some of his bigger hits like that. But the 70s Black Sabbath with Ozzy, I absolutely love that era. And so Ozzy, they put him in this black throne, surrounded by monitors, and damn well there was a teleprompter there, because I think he's been using a teleprompter for decades. And I don't really find anything wrong with it. I would probably do the same thing, just knowing that it's there. So it's a bit of karaoke in a way, but he's very mobile from the waist up. He was waving his arms, and he seemed in high spirits, and his voice was good. Did he have some, I don't think there was any backing tracks, but did he have some kind of vocal enhancements, with the microphone and the PA system? Probably, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But he sounded good, I thought. But, he only did 4 songs with Black Sabbath, and they opened up with War Pigs, which was cool. Then they went into NIB from the first album, and then they did Iron Man, and then the encore was Paranoid. I've heard, I'm sick of Iron Man and Paranoid, although I play drums, and every now and then I like playing the song Paranoid, just because everybody knows it, and it's easy to do, and it's a crowd pleaser. But I was hoping for more. I think everybody was hoping for more, but we were only being promised, the consumer ahead of time, that, Ozzy might do 1 or 2 Ozzy songs, and then maybe 1 or 2 Black Sabbath songs. So 4 songs by Black Sabbath, I guess, is generous, but at some point, if that's all you can do, and if that's the way he wants to go out, fine. I hope that it is the end, and that, don't run it into the ground. And he's almost there. I mean, the rest of the band's fine. And for some reason, at the last song or two, Bill Ward, the drummer, took his shirt off. I have no idea why he did that. I heard maybe he was felt he was dehydrating, getting too hot. But some people shouldn't take their shirts off. That's all I'll say. But I think it was cool, kind of. Hopefully they just say, what, let's just call it a day, folks, and still do some recording. That would be cool if they can come up with some some really good songs to make a record, I would be open to listening to it for sure, and would like that to happen. But so many bands that are getting old, they just need to call it quits, I think, as far as performing. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, like, subscribe, and rock on, everybody, and take care, folks.